You're never going to lose again. The past is the past. I don't give a fuck about the past. It's a new story starting today. And from here on out, this is the chapter where it all goes right. The person who inspired me the most was Pete Carroll. I went to USC, and anyone, even if you didn't go to USC, you knew that Pete Carroll created one of the greatest college football teams of all time. And it wasn't just that they were good. They had so much swagger. They were so good that they were the hottest show in town in LA. This wasn't just a football team. It was like a Broadway show. And when I was lost, I was 25 in August. I'd just gotten a $200,000 bonus that didn't make me happy. I'd just gotten out of a 6-year relationship. And I was really lost and confused with what to do with my life. And more than anything, I was upset with myself because I knew I wasn't fulfilling my potential. And this was right before football season, and being a USC fan, I was like, you know what? Pete Carroll was an expert at getting his players to fulfill their potential. He got more out of his players than anyone else. He got every last drop of their potential out of him. And I wanted to understand how he did that because I want to do that for myself. And ironically, that's now what's become my job because I want to do that for you too. So check the link in the bio and I'm going to get into that. So Pete Carroll, let's start at rock bottom for him as well. Pete's journey started after he got fired as the head coach of the New York Jets. He was an NFL coach before college, and really he didn't have any success so far to that point. He got fired, and this was at a low point in his life. And like I did, Pete was like, you know what? I'm going to study someone who figured it out. So Pete studied the legendary basketball coach, John Wooden. What was interesting that Pete saw about John Wooden is John Wooden didn't win a championship in his first 14 years. So he didn't have much success either. But then 10 of the next 12 years, he won, going down, ending his career as one of the best coaches of all time. And so that was a big eye-opening thing for Pete. He made a decision. That's it. I've lost a lot in my career to this point, but no more. I'm never going to lose again. And that was something that he told his players. We're never going to lose again. And that's something I'm telling you. You're never going to lose again. The past is the past. I don't give a fuck about the past. It's a new story starting today. And from here on out, this is the chapter, this is the book where it all goes right. So anyways, so then Pete gets into this personal philosophy. You need a personal life philosophy that you can clearly describe in 20 words or less. And for Pete, it became competition. And for me, it's that life is all just a big game. You have to attack life. You have to throw yourself at the world and have the balls to see just how good it can go. And for Pete, it's this competition to be your best, whatever your best is. He said, I don't care if it's to be a chef, to be just a good roommate or a brother or a husband, or if you want to be the best football player in the world. And for me, it's to get every last drop of life. It's to live the life that you're truly capable of. And for both of us, this is a lifetime journey. And obviously for me, this came from Pete because Pete's thing is your only goal in life, your purpose in life is to fulfill your potential. That's called self-actualization, to realize your potential, to become the person that you're capable of being. And now I had known of Pete's philosophy, and I was lucky enough to listen to him when he'd come to USC campus. He's always fired up to be there. Every speech he starts, he goes, man, I'm just fired up. I'm fired up to be here. His energy is infectious. And that runs so deep into your core. Pete is, I believe, 76 years old. No offense, Pete. And he looks 50. He's got more energy than his players. He's always running around. And so it goes to show that your thoughts create your reality. Even his skin looks amazing because Pete is always happy. He's always positive. He's always optimistic. One of the things I took away from him most is always expect great things to happen. And they always will. But what made Pete different is a lot of coaches try to tear their players down. But Pete built them up. He encouraged them and he made them believe in themselves. And that's what I realized my purpose is. I'm trying to get you to go through the work to believe in yourself so that you can take the risk, so that you can be confident, so that you can be loving, so that you can live the life that you're capable of. It all comes down to self-belief. So how did Pete get you there? Competition. Competition was the backbone of Pete's program. And I always thought competition, under how he defined it, was offense versus defense, or ones versus ones, or iron on iron. But it was an unlock to me that it was competition with yourself. You're in competition with yourself to see how good you can become. As Pete says, we're trying to do things better than they've ever done before. You're trying to get to the best you've ever been. And in fact, he learned to love and embrace competition. The offense learned to love the defense because that's a measuring stick to see how good they've gotten. And it reminds me of this clip. There's this video of summer practice in the NBA, and they're double teaming Devin Booker, and he's, nah, man, we're not double teaming in summer practice. And then someone asked Kobe Bryant, and they're like, Kobe, were they double teaming you in summer practice? He's, oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. And the guy was like, and what'd you say about that? He goes, yeah, tell him send another. Yeah, send another one over. Because Kobe also loved competition. Competition is a measuring stick to see how good you've got. So you're in a daily competition with yourself to see how good you can get. The next part of that is something that is very core to me, again, that I learned from Pete, is having fun is a good business strategy. It's a good life strategy. Pete would always bring, Snoop Dogg would be at USC's practice running routes with the wide receivers. Will Ferrell would come in like Ricky Bobby outfits into team meetings, or as Captain Compete and show up in a Speedo to just come in and keep things loose and to keep things fun and to keep things engaging. And this was what I learned from Pete. You have to create a fun learning experience. That's when players are engaged. That's when they're excited to show up to work. You've probably had a job that you hate. You're not very happy to go into the office, but that's where company culture, that's the environment that you're creating, is so important for yourself. An opportunity or an environment for you to be your best. That's what Pete created. It was fun and it was free. And like I said, he didn't tear his players down. He built them up, right? Because in football, just like in life, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fumble things, whether it's actual football or whether it's someone you really like, or make a really bad investment, right? And instead of chewing these players out, you idiot, why did you do that? How did you make that mistake? It's all right. We're going to get the next one. Even after Russell Wilson threw his interception and lose the Super Bowl, Pete's, no problem, we'll get the next one. Because he always believed great things were going to happen. And it's also, if you're trying to become a person you've never been, you're going to make mistakes. Something that's became such a foundational part of my happiness is I just let myself make mistakes. I'm not happy about them. I don't enjoy that I'm making mistakes, but I expect to make mistakes because I'm trying to do things that I've never done before. And mistakes are part of the process. It's how you learn and grow. And what's important is don't beat yourself up over your mistakes, because mistakes don't define you. They don't really define how good your life goes. What defines how good your life goes is all the things that you get right. If you got to make a couple mistakes, make a couple bad investments on the way to making one that makes you $1 billion, who cares about the ones you lost money on? Does it matter? No. And so Pete, all of this was helping his players believe in themselves. So that when game day came around, this is my favorite part. This is the swagger of Pete's teams that was unlike anyone and anything else that has been created. USC was winning these games before the games even started because they knew they were going to win. Each player knew they were at the best of their abilities. Reggie Bush knew before the game, I've never been as good as I am right now. I've never been this version of me. I'm the best of my abilities. And what Pete would tell his players before the game is, let it rip. You've done all the work to be fully confident in yourself. You are ready to go. Let it rip. And that freedom to let it rip is what enabled them to put on a show. When you're stressed and scared and afraid to make mistakes, you're not relaxed. It's when you're relaxed that you can make the big play, that you can do things that you never even thought you could do. And it's the freedom of knowing that all you can do is go give it your best. You might lose, but USC lost to Texas in one of the most iconic Rose Bowl games ever. They all played their hearts out, but honestly, Vince Young played the game of his life and the game of honestly the century. And if you go out there and you give it your best and you play to the best of your abilities and you get beat, so be it. It's going to happen. Sometimes someone's just going to do better than you. All you can do then is tip your cap and be like, all right, respect, right? But there's no point in hanging your hat. You did the best. But so this is where the swagger comes in. They did the work to know that they're at their best and they were free to let it rip before the game in the locker room. It's, you think you guys are going to fucking beat us? Like, come and try to beat us. Like, good fucking luck. Because all they're doing is being at their best. They're controlling exactly what they can control. And when you do that long enough, you deserve to have that confidence, that swagger. And that's, you know that from Pete, right? Reggie Bush had that swagger. Russell Wilson, an unheralded third-round draft pick, became a Hall of Fame quarterback with swagger. Richard Sherman was a nobody, and he created the entire identity of the Seahawks team that won that Super Bowl because of that swagger. And that swagger is what intimidates people. And that swagger, if you intimidate someone, they're not going to be at their best because they're going to be tight and tense, and you're going to be free and loose. And it's that swagger of knowing that you're at your best, at believing in yourself. That's the difference. I was thinking long and hard, and it's like swagger is that 10% difference of, even if you're creating content or you're putting yourself out there and you're like, oh, I hope they receive it well. Or if you're timid on, should I say this thing to that person? But when you own it and you just say it and you own that essence of who you are and lean into it, that swagger is that 10% difference. Think of the swagger of your favorite musical artist. They're just so uniquely themselves, and that swagger is what bends reality to them. But when you play timid because you're unsure of yourself, because you don't believe in yourself, you don't have it. And so that's what I'm building with Local Legends. Pete teaches a class at USC called The Game of Life. And that's what I call it, is the game of life. I'm not sure if I got the idea for him, if it came from him or not, but it is all just a big game. And in the game, your only objective, you win the game if you fulfill your potential. That's it. Every single day, if you fulfill your potential. And fulfilling your potential is going to take a lot of work. And that's why I created an environment for us all to be our best, to all push ourselves, somewhere where you want to show up every day to go get better. I grew up playing sports. I miss that team-like environment. You go through the real world as an adult and you're isolated and you have to do all this shit alone. You have to learn how to be a good employee alone. There's no playbook for that, and you got to go through it alone. But you don't have to go through it alone because everything's more fun when you do it as a team. Pete inspired me so much. That's why I created Local Legends. I call it the internet's country club. I want that environment for us all to come together to have fun in the journey of fulfilling our potential and becoming our best. Like something I like to say, in life, it all comes down to confidence. Confidence on the other side of becoming unafraid to fail. You only become unafraid to fail by getting rejected so much that it no longer hurts your feelings. So this is what I have people do when they join the community. Your initiation ritual. You got to go get rejected 50 times and you tell everyone in the community all the ways that you got rejected. And the point of that is it's supposed to be fun. We want to hear all these stories of how you shot these crazy shots and how you got rejected. Because if you were to do that alone, you'd get rejected, let's be honest, 2 or 3 times and have enough. You'd have the worst week of your life. You'd feel shitty about yourself, unworthy, and you just feel rejected and down and out. But when you're doing it in the community-like environment, you're like, oh, I'm telling these amazing stories. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's having fun with you. Then that's how your life starts to go super good because you're not afraid to fail. That's what I say. It's like we're there to celebrate you when you succeed, and we're definitely there to celebrate you and pick you back up when you fail. Pete created such an amazing environment, and you need that environment that brings out the best in you so that you believe in yourself. That's what I'm trying to get you to do. Is I want you to do the work so that you believe in yourself, because that's how you earn the swagger that is going to make you take the world by storm. That's going to unlock the life that you're capable of. That's what's going to give you this mojo, this zest, this magnetic energy that is going to pull the most amazing people and opportunities and experiences into you so that you just live this most amazing life. And so if you want to come in, it's not hard to find. The links are all over the bios. It's called Local Legends. We'd love to have you. There's a locker room of all of us in there before the game. Every single day, we're charging each other up to go be at our best, to go take the world by storm, go live the lives that we want, do the things that we want. And we've got the freedom and the confidence and belief in ourselves and the swagger to let her rip. Let her rip. As Pete would say to them, let her rip. It's time to go put on a show and own this Rose Bowl as we do. Go put on a show, baby. Let's let her rip.